Hello everybody, this is Crafty, and today I'm doing a mod showcase on the Rats mod. This mod adds a wide variety of rat-related features, the most notable of which is the ability to tame rats and then use them to automate various processes. Before we begin this video, I'd like to ask everyone to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell to turn notifications on. Subscribing is completely free, and every subscriber helps the channel reach its goal of 1,000. Worst case scenario, unsubscribe later. Let's get straight to the video. Now, per the usual for this channel, the video will be divided up into various categories, and those categories can be found on the timestamps that are down in the description. And without further ado, let's get to it. So the first block on Showcase today is the rat hole. This block is created when a rat eats through any type of plank and cannot be crafted. However, the rats will be able to go through it, so let's see if this rat here will create one. Okay, come on, there are 4 of you now. Why do none of you want to go get the cheese? Alright, I've waited long enough. I don't think that any of these rats are going to do it, but that is how you get the rat hole, by rats eating their way through any type of wooden plank. So next up, we have the cauldron of milk and the cauldron of cheese. Now, to get the cauldron of milk, just put a milk bucket in a normal cauldron, and after a certain amount of time, the milk will eventually become cheese, where you can harvest the next block on the list, which is the block of cheese. And the other type of cheese is the block of blue cheese, crafted with 4 blue cheese, or a block of cheese with sugar and a brown mushroom. And the cheese making process can be automated by placing down a curdling station crafted with a cauldron, a hopper, some glass, and 6 blocks of cheese. You would put milk in here, and eventually it would turn into cheese. Let's just grab a milk here. Put that in there. And as you can see, it will begin turning into cheese. Next up, we have the trash can. So, with this, you right click it, and you will put blocks in it, and you will get garbage out of it. Now, there does seem to be a few bugs with this. For example, sometimes it does not like to work when you're in creative. Other times it doesn't like to work when you're in survival. And you can see completely through it, which I think is kind of funny. But you will get garbage. Let's see if the bucket would work. The bucket isn't even operating properly. Okay, let's just use garbage to make garbage. Alright, yeah, so as you can see, there are some bugs with this where it just won't work sometimes. But as you saw right there, you can just replace it, and you can just put garbage in there and get more garbage. Or any item, really. You can put trash cans in there to get garbage. Buckets don't work. Can I use the sword? No. So basically, any block type item you can put in there will give you garbage. Which is the next block. The garbage pile. I'm going to get rid of the rest of these. I don't know why I had the bucket. So the garbage pile is obtained through the trash can, and it will spawn rats on it when it is nighttime. At the moment it is not, and it takes a long time for them to spawn. And as you can see here, there is some various designs for it. You can see right, and there's also a few different types of garbage. Compressed garbage, which will spawn more rats. Diseased garbage, which will spawn diseased rats. Pied garbage, which will spawn pied pipers. And purified garbage, which will only spawn normal rats and not plague rats. Next, we have the dye sponge, which will remove dyes from animals when right-clicked. It, however, when placed, just has a neat look. So you have to right-click on the animal to remove the dye. This will remove dyes from sheep and rats. The next block is the rat trap, crafted with 3 of any type of plank, an iron ingot, and an iron trap door. When any type of food item, but mostly cheese, is put on it, rats will then, on occasion, go and try and get the cheese. When they do, they will be killed, and then you can right-click the trap to reset it. Next up, we have the rat attractor, crafted with a block of cheese, a lantern, and 4 redstone dust. When given a redstone signal, rats will then become attracted to it and move over towards it. Next we have the rat quarry. This is crafted with some blue cheese, a diamond, and a crafting table, and it actually says what it'll do. Rats will dig directly below the block, and so you basically have to give a rat a specific type of upgrade, which will be covered later, and I'll demonstrate it when we get to that upgrade. Next is the rat crafting table. This is crafted with a crafting table surrounded by normal cheese, and you can set, I don't know what, okay, that might be a bug right there. It says rat quarry. That's probably a bug. But when rats are basically used with this, they will begin to auto-craft certain materials, which again, I will show later on, seeing that as that requires rat upgrades. Next up, we have the rat upgrade combiner and separator. So both of these are traded from the Plague Doctor, and to use it, you put the rat upgrade combined in one slot, which is, of course, something you have to get from the Plague Doctor as well. Then you basically take the first one that you want to combine, and using emeralds as fuel, it will then add it to the rat upgrade combined. You can then begin combining additional ones onto it in order for it to have multiple different upgrades in one upgrade slot. And the opposite of this is the rat separator, upgrade separator, where you drop it onto it, and you get back the upgrade for health and speed, as well as any emeralds, used, or rather, as many emeralds as there are upgrades. And now on to some more decorative blocks. We have the manhole cover, which functions similar to a trapdoor, just opening and closing, and is crafted with 3 iron bars and 3 iron trapdoors. Next up, we have the barrel of fish. This is a decorative block that's crafted with a barrel and any type of fish, like that, and as I said, just a decorative block. Next, we have raw marbled cheese, which is again a decorative block made with 2 cheese and 2 quartz. The rat upgrade block, which is made with any type of basic rat upgrades. The Jacko-Ratlern, which is made with a pumpkin, a raw rat, and a torch. And pied wool, which is a drop from the pied piper. Next up, we have the rat cage and all of its added components. So the rat cage is a multi-block structure that you can craft, and it will connect to any other rat cages and can be built to almost any size. As you can see here, this one is relatively large. Now, you can then insert rat tubes onto this, which will allow the rats to essentially go around inside the tubes. And you can give it an opening by right-clicking on it, so the rats will go inside. You can then add white rat igloos and water bottles, as well as food and hammocks into the cage, just to give them a little bit more of a homely feel. And then you have the rat breeding lantern, which, if this is in there, the rats will breed. So if I take a rat spawn egg, and it goes in, there, I'm pretty sure, oh right, you can only put tamed rats. And so, as you can see here, I've now put a few tamed rats, and as long as there is a boy rat and a girl rat, you will then see at a certain point a baby rat, which looks like that thing right there. That's a baby rat. It's hard to see, but there it is. And eventually it will grow into an adult rat. To insert rats in there, just shift right click on them to, so I'm just going, released one rat from the cage. Where is it? It said I released it. Alright, well, you basically shift right click on the rats to put them on your head or your shoulders, and then you right click on the cage to insert them into it. So next we have all of the different hats added with the mod. The first being the archaeologist hat, which is dropped from husks or skeletons in jungles. And as you can see, it looks like this. The back, this from the front. Then we have the farmer hat, which, if I was to take this off, looks like this, similar to the farmer villager. And it is crafted with a hay bale and some wheat. Next is the fisherman hat, which is crafted with the farmer hat, any type of fish, and some string. And it looks like this, similar to the fishing villager's hat. Next is the red fez, crafted with a string cheese and some red wool, and it looks like this. Then we have the top hat, which is crafted with some black wool, a red dye, and 2 black carpet, which looks like this. The Santa hat, which cannot be crafted, but looks like this. The golden halo, which is crafted with 2 gold ingots and some gold nuggets, and that looks like this. The various party hats, which cannot be crafted, but look as follows. And then we have the chef toque, which is some white wool and string. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. That looks like this. The piper hat, which is a rare drop from Pied Pipers, where wild rats will no longer fear you while you're wearing it. So that's a perk, and it looks like this. The exterminator hat, which looks like this. You get like sunglasses, a cigar. Pretty neat. The then we have the plague doctor mask, which reduces your chance of getting the plague from plague rats, and can be a trade from plague doctors. Then we have the black death mask, which plague rats will no longer target you while wearing it. This is a rare drop from the black death mini boss. Oh my gosh, you can see my shades through it. That's weird. Then we have the king rat's crown, which is a drop from king rats. And then the pirate hat, which is another unobtainable, unless from like treasure chests and stuff. This one actually looks pretty nice. So next we have all of the different foods, starting with the cheese, which restores 3 hunger bars. Next we have the raw rat, which restores 3 hunger points. The cooked rat, which restores 5 hunger points. The rat burger, which restores 8 hunger points. Assorted vegetables, which restores 7 hunger points. Blue cheese, which restores 3 hunger points. Nether cheese, which restores 3 hunger points. Contaminated food, which restores 2 hunger points. A bundle of sweet-smelling herbs, which restore 1 hunger point and have a 10% chance to cure the plague. The old treacle, which restores 2 hunger points, has a 25% chance to cure the plague. A plague leech, which when eaten will just deal damage to you and has a 50% chance to heal the plague. And then the plague stew, which has a 100% chance to cure the plague and will restore, I believe it was around 7. Next we have the potato niches, which restore all of your hunger and give the synesthesia effect. So, next we have the potato pancake, which restores 4 hunger points, and the confit bialdi, which again gives you the synesthesia effect. However, you can't actually see your hunger, hearts, experience, or hotbar. You can still see objects that are put into it. Oh, and now it works. So I think that a lot of the blanking out is a visual bug, but You get a lot of health and you get a large amount of saturation. So next up we have all of the different mobs, starting off with the rat. The rat will default run away from the player, and when killed, can drop, obviously not to these amounts due to the looting on the sword, but it can drop raw rat, rat skulls, rat paws, and rat pelts. Next, we have the demon rat. These are found in the nether, and when killed, can drop cooked rat, rat pelts again, we just didn't get any this time, rat paws, rat skulls, and nether cheese. Next we have the Pied Piper, which will spawn in dark oak forests, and will summon rats around itself to attack the player. As you can hear, it will play a song if you listen closely. And when killed, can drop Pied Wool, the Piper Hat, mysterious token fragments, some feathers, and the Rat Flute, which will command all tamed rats in the local area all at once. Next, we have the Rat King, which looks something like this. This is really, really weird, actually. But when killed, it can drop mysterious token chunks, the Rat King's crown, filth, and tangled rat tails. Next, we have the Plague Cloud. This is a mob spawned in by the Black Death if it doesn't kill the player quick enough. And this will not drop anything when killed, but will give the player the plague effect if it attacks the player. Next up, we have the Plague Beast. This will also be spawned in by the Black Death if it does not kill the player quickly. And when killed, it can drop leeches and filth, as well as a few other things that we didn't happen to get there. So yep, there's some other stuff. The rat pelt. And let's give it one more shot. I'm pretty sure there was something else that it could drop. Alright then, I guess not. Next we have the Plague Doctor. The Plague Doctor is a villager type mob that can randomly spawn in the world, similar to a wandering trader. And although it does say novice at the top, it will not level up, and these are all the trades that it will have. As you can see, it will allow you to get the rat upgrade combiner, the rat upgrade separator. You can then also get rat upgrades, the combined exterminator hats, the old treacle, and you can even trade raw rats for emeralds. However, these trades will not refresh, but they can also spawn in a village. So I think that the trade respawning is a work in progress. Additionally, if killed, they can drop some contaminated food. And lastly, we have the Black Death. This mob will spawn in plague rats around it, and will not attack the player itself. In fact, in survival, it will actually run away from the player. So I'm going to wait for a while to see if it will spawn in any of the plague clouds or plague beasts. But that can actually take a while for it to spawn them. Okay, so it hasn't spawned any, but it does after a while. It takes a very long while, actually. So, when killed, it will drop some mysterious token chunks, the Black Death Mask, and the Black Death Scythe, which will be covered later on. And lastly, while we're here, we have the Plague Rats, which, when killed, have a few different drops compared to the normal rat. In addition to dropping rat skulls, rat pelts, and rat claws, they can also drop Plague Essence and the Plague Tome. So next we have all the various materials and crafting ingredients found in the mod. The first is the rat pelt, which drops from rats and is used to either make leather or the rat banner pattern. Next is the rat paw, which can be used to make the rat upgrade quarry, which allows rats to use the quarry block, and that's the only thing it's used for. Next we have string cheese, which is used to make the rat fez, and is obtained in the rat crafting table with a piece of cheese as long as the rat has the chef upgrade. Next is the feathery wing, which is used to make the chicken mount, the flight upgrade, the angel upgrade, and the damage protection. And this is crafted with a raw chicken and some feathers. Next, the dragon wing, which is used to make the dragon rat upgrade, and is crafted with some blaze rods and some leather. Next, plastic waste. This is used to make raw plastic, which is used in some of the rat container crafting recipes, as you can see here. And plastic waste is obtained from garbage, similar to how flint is from gravel. The plague essence, as you saw, dropped from plague rats, and is used in making purifying liquid. The beast mount, meaning the rat can then ride a rat beast, which is really weird, to make the diseased garbage. The rat radius staff, the plague doctorate, and rainbow essence, as well as the voodoo doll upgrade. Next is the rat skull, which is used to make the beast mount upgrade, the golden rat skull, and the rat and crossbones banner pattern, as well as can be used into bone meal, the undead rat upgrade, and the voodoo doll rat upgrade. Next is the golden rat skull, which is used in making purifying liquid, the gilded rat flute, the aristocrat rat upgrade, the battle god rat upgrade, the crimson liquid, and the corrupted rat skull, which at the moment isn't really used for anything, but requires tangled rat tails, black death scythe, and the golden rat skull to make. Next is charged creeper chunks, which are just dropped from charged creepers and used to make the extreme energy transfer rat upgrade, which allows the rat to transfer RF if you have a mod that includes that, as well as the TNT expert, meaning the rat will explode upon attacking and will not damage the rat or any allies. Next is filth. As you saw, it was a drop from a larger number of the plague-associated mobs, and is used to make the beast mount, the ball of filth, which transforms a rat into a rat king, the quarry upgrade, and next we have the tangled rat tails, which is used to make the gilded rat flute, the tick accelerator, which increases the tick speed of any. Okay, I was wondering about the pronunciation there, and the corrupted rat skull. Next, the tiny coin, which is a rare drop from certain mobs, and is used to make the mysterious token fragment, which is used to make the mysterious token chunk. However, without the DLC, these don't really have a purpose. Next up, we have the little black squash balls, which are used to make the little black worm, and obtained in the rat crafting table with a rat that has the gem cut upgrade from coal. The little black worm, as you saw, was made from 3 potato pancakes and 6 little black squash balls, and is used with the, again, gem cutter rat to make the centipede. The envy itself is used to make potato niches. Next is the rat nugget, which can be used to make the ore doubling, or just to make a wheat seed. But what this does is the rats will eat ore blocks and create nuggets, which can then be smelted for the associated item. So that is a very interesting mechanic right there. Next, we have the 3 different types of banners added. First is the rat banner, which looks like that, the cheese banner, which looks like that, and the rat and crossbones, which looks like that. Next, we have the various tools, starting off with the cheese staff. So the cheese staff is crafted with a cheese and a stick, and if you have a tamed rat, what you can then do is right-click to bind the staff to that rat, then click on a container. It will then, depending on what surface, it'll deposit items in that area. So then you can, or you can take items, or set the home point of the rat to the chest, which I just did, as you can see here. Next, we have the rat radius staff, which is made with a plague essence and a stick. And when held, it will basically show the rat's radius that it will harvest crops. So, it's being shown on the surface of the blocks and on the ceiling. And you can then, of course, right-click on the rat to toggle it, where you can basically just determine the radius. So um, I'm going to set it down to 7. As you can see, that is now the radius in which the rat will harvest things. And then you can set the origin point. So now the rat will harvest any items that are dropped. So if the rat is set to harvest, it should then pick up any items within its bounding box. Next we have the rat whistle. This is crafted with a piece of cheese and 4 iron ingots. This will send any nearby rats to their home points if they have one. So if I right click, the rat, as you can see, went over to its home position. Next we have the rat flute, which is a drop from the Pied Piper, and you can set it to change the command of any rats. So if I set the command to follow me, it will then begin to follow you around. If you change it to hunt, it will then hunt. And you can set it to whatever. Next we have the gilded rat flute, which is crafted with a rat flute, a golden rat skull, and tangled rat tails. And this is a little weird, but it fires rats at the target. So it's very strange. But it launches rats. Dealing damage. Oh no, that's brutal. That's a little brutal actually. Oh my. It's so brutal, but why can I not stop doing it? Oh my god. Oh no. What have I done? Next is the rat sack, which is crafted with some leather and some cheese, and it can actually hold rats. So if I was to use the next item, which is the rat capture net, crafted with the rat sack, some cobwebs, and some iron nuggets on a rat, it would then put it in a sack if applicable. So as you can see, this is not applicable. My guess is that it is not tamed. So, tame some of these rats right here. Boom. And it actually has a very large range, but you can then see it is contained 2 rats, and it displays their name underneath it. Next we have the rat on arrow. So what this does is you shoot an arrow that has a rat on it. Oh my god, that's so weird. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's just strange. That's just really, really weird. Next we have the crimson liquid, and this will turn demon rats into normal rats. Pretty simple. Next we have the ball of filth, which will transform a normal rat into a king rat. As you can see now, it is suffocating in a wall. To put the rat out of its misery, we're going to use the Black Death Scythe, which summons plague clouds on attack. And what these do is they prevent the mobs from regenerating health, but then you can also just hit stuff with it. Next, we have the Rainbow Essence, which is a plague essence in any type of dye. And this will dye a rat a color. So, I'm guessing it has to be tamed as well, because most of these things only apply to tamed rats. So, oh, okay, that's much cooler than I thought what was going to happen. Oh my god, that is epic. And next we have the Plague Tome. What this does is it turns the Plague Doctor into the Black Death. Very spooky, it needs to die now. And lastly, we have the Rat Papers, which is used to transfer rats between their owners. It just says, you do what it says. Right-click to bind to the rat, right-click on another player to gift them that rat. Now, I don't have another player, so you just have to take my word for it. So next up, I'm going to be showcasing all of the different configuration features and abilities that the rat will have. The first of which is the various commands. The first is Wander, where it will move around like a wild rat. Second is Stay, where it will, be put in this position and not move. Follow, where it will follow its owner around. Hunt animals, where it will kill any adult animals and place their remains in a container, which if I was to get a pig, it will then go after and kill the pig. And if I was to get a chest, if I was to get a chest and take the cheese staff, I can have it deposit items into the chest. So if it was to kill something, it would then deposit those items there. Next is gather items, so it will pick up any dropped items and place them in a deposit container. For example, pig spawn egg, it puts it in its mouth, and now it's in the chest. The next is harvest, where it will break grass and crops and place them in the container. Now there's a few upgrades that will change that, such as the miner or lumberjack upgrade, where it will mine blocks or fell trees respectively. And again, cheese staff to mark the container. Next we have transport items, where it will move items from one container to another. So, let's say I want to have these three items moved over there. What I could do is have it take items from this chest and deposit items into that chest, and you can watch it go back and forth, and after a while, all the items will be in this chest. And then there's hunt monsters, where it'll kill any hostile monsters and place their remains in the deposit container, which it will save as this. So then if I was to get a... Actually, let's not get a spider, that could run away. Let's just say a zombie. Spawn a zombie. Now, unfortunately, the rat is very likely to die here, seeing as it does not do much damage, but it did attack it. And so, this is why having upgrades that boost its health and attack damage are useful. Now, when it comes to the upgrades for the rats, there are a absolute ton of them, but because I showed earlier on how the upgrades combine properly using this, it is relatively simple to show what they do. So I'm just going to show a few examples. So, because they all say exactly what they do, there's no need for me to showcase all of them, because they are all relatively straightforward. But you can put up to 3 on the rat at a time. So I'm going to put the Battle God, which, as it says, gives increased health, armor, and attack. TNT Expert, where it'll explode upon attacking enemies. And then the Dragon, where it'll actually begin to fly around, which is really, really epic. However, there's a few other things. First off, you can put hats on these. So I put the little crown on it. And then it looks like you can also put banners on it. So I'm going to give that a quick try, if I can figure out where the banners are in the creative. There we are. So if I was to manage to catch it, I need to set it, I need to change what. Okay, stay. Good dragging thing. So yeah, then you can put a banner on it, and I'll have a banner. And then there's actually this, where you can put a cheese, which is the item in its mouth. So if I was to give it a netherite sword, it would then be wielding the netherite sword. And so that is an extraordinarily decked out rat. And that's a sentence that I never thought I would say. And that is going to do it for this mod showcase. I hope that you enjoyed and found this video informative. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And this mod actually has an add-on that is called Ratlantis, which adds an entire new dimension that really expands upon the lore of this mod, I guess, if you could call it lore. So, if this video gets 10 likes, then I will showcase that add-on. Anyways, guys, that was the Rats mod. This has been Crafty, and goodbye!